1985 Ford Escort RS Turbo. It's obviously the Series 1, which obviously if you know what you're looking at, you can tell straight away by looking at it. 99% of them were in white, apart from a couple of special editions. Or if you were Princess Diana, you were allowed a black one. We'll start by having a look at the bodywork, and then we'll have a look at the interior, get it started up, all that sort of stuff. If we look down this driver's side, you can see nice and straight, not full of filler, no ripples all the way down. It is missing a little bit of trim that goes into this sort of lower section here. It sort of sticks into those there and then hides those fixings for the front bumper. So it's missing that. And you've got a tiny little chip just in the corner of the arch there. But the wheel arch and the body kit itself fits lovely. Normally these things sort of step away from the body of the car and look awful. You can see it on the rear one, which we'll get to. They both sit really, really well. Nice and clean all the way around. If we look inside, you can see again, that's nice and tidy. Going all the way around the lip. Correct 7-spoke alloys, and it's got, and I believe they're matching all the way around, and we'll double check, Michelin Pilot Sport 3s. So obviously a nice pricey tyre, sign of good ownership. No one puts them on if they're being skimpy. Rest of the wing all nice and clean. You've got the correct RS badging and sticker pack going down the side. See the panel gap there is all nice and tidy. Have a look around this area, which quite often you can find a bit of corrosion under the windscreen, around the wiper. In this seam, you can see that's all lovely and clean all the way around. Going up the A-pillar, that's all good. I'm looking at that gutter all the way along, lovely and clean. The roof itself, lovely and straight. There's no ripples or dents in it. There's no marks on this side. There's a little mark on the other side, which we'll show you when we get there. And then this front section, that's all good. Sunroof car, around the sunroof's good. There's no corrosion or anything. The glass has delaminated slightly on the way around, which you can see there. But again, we have just pressure washed it. There was no moisture or anything coming through, so that's always good to know. I believe, and I'll double check as we go around, correctly stamped all the way around. But at least that one is to start with. Rear quarter here, all nice and tidy. That side skirt fits nice and straight. It's got a couple of little chips in the paint just at the bottom there, you can see. Which is not awful. You've got to get right on it to see it. Obviously, if you stand back, even anything at all, you can't see them. All the grommet hole covers and everything are all still there. If you have a look underneath, see that's nice and tidy all the way along. I did have a good look underneath this thing when we pulled up on the trailer. We could do with a good wipe down, but it doesn't look like it's covered in under seal. It's not. Got loads of patches welded into it, nice, solid, clean on its floor. Have a look on the inside of that arch. Lovely and straight all the way around. Inside the arch as well, nice and clean. Another matching Michelin Pilot Sport 3. And obviously the correct 7-spoke wheel. This rear arch fits lovely, no marks on it, nice and clean all the way around. Coming around on the rear bumper sits nice and straight and level. It's not wonky over to one side or anything like that. Both rear tail lights, nice and bright, no cracking or any signs of any moisture or anything in them. This lower half of the valance, that's all nice and tidy. Have a little look into there again, you can see nice and clean. No sign of any corrosion or anything. Boot lid itself, it's all nice and tidy. Correct RS badge in there as well. Spoiler, normally they get cracked with the boot lifting them up and down, but it seems to be good. Got a little bit of light marking in the paint just there. But other than that, all good. Correct stamp on this rear screen. Around the screen itself, no sign of any corrosion, all nice and clean. All nice and tidy. Coming up this pillar again, that's good. The good roof rail, gutter. And the mark I mentioned in the roof, you can just see it here. A little bit of a sort of reaction in the paint of some sort. Just see it, if we sort of move the camera around, you can notice it. As soon as you come away from it, you can't tell it's there at all, but it's definitely worth pointing it out. C7, yep, correct on those two windows as well. Around the windows is all nice and tidy. There's no sign of any corrosion or anything coming in there. Shut that door properly. And again, looking down this side, lovely and straight all the way down. Body kit fits nice and tidy. A couple little chips in the paint there again. All the grommet holes are all there as well. Correct sticker pack on this side. Wing mirror is nice and tidy. All the plastics are good. They're not dried out or covered in back to black. Got a tiny little mark just at the bottom there. It's not really corrosion, if anything. It's just a bit where they've missed on the paint. Polishing with the paint, I think, at some point. Around the windscreen, that's all good. All nice and tidy. Again, windscreen's nice and clear as well. Front arch, it's all nice and neat all the way around there. Another matching Michelin Pilot Sport 3. Again, these fit really, really well on this car. Coming around up the front, headlights, indicators, and the driving lamps are all nice and clean. No cracks, not faded, no moisture, nothing like that. Toe eye cover and everything on the lower valance is still there. They quite often go walkabouts. Like I mentioned earlier on, this little trim on both sides is missing from the corner of the bumper. You don't really notice until you get right down underneath it, but it is worth pointing that out. Again, underneath we can have a good look there. All nice and clean under there as well. Bonnet wise, one or two very, very small stone chips, but that is me being really picky. Rest of the bonnet lovely and straight and clean. This scuttle panel all the way along, that's nice and tidy as well. Interior, so nice clean driver's side door card. Recaro is obviously being the RS Turbo. Bolster wise, tiny little bit of wear, tiny. The rest of it's all good. Slight crease in the material where it's sort of pleats, but actually it sort of does that from factory, but it gives you another one here. If you get a steam cleaner on it, they tighten right up and go away, and you've got a very small little mark just here. Other than that, for a driver's seat of this age, lovely and clean. Steering wheel, lovely and tidy. Clock says 43,000 miles. If you check the description, we'll detail what we know in the way of sort of history, where it's been, all that sort of stuff. From what I understand, there's about 2 thick folders to go through and work out and note down in the description. So like I say, check that. But if there's any specific questions, give us a shout. Carpet set's lovely and clean. We do have a set of mats, but I've pulled them out just so you can have a good look at those. Again, we'll lift this because that's always important to see under there. That's all nice and clean in there, not full of corrosion or anything. Rear carpet set's nice. And the rear seats are lovely and clean. Again, these do quite often look dirty when you stand away from them. You get nice and close, you can see that's all nice and clean. It's just shadows on it. So you can see nice and clean all the way around. Headlining, that's all good. There's no sign of any sagging. It does have a sunroof, and obviously it's got the sun blind as well, which is nice. It's not broken apart or anything like that as we've gone round. We'll continue our way around. We'll have a look in the boot. So it's had a couple of little light mods to the engine, this one. So one of them being an induction kit or a larger air filter. So the airbox has been removed, but that is included with the car, as is the original stereo, if you want to put that back in. But we'll move them out of the way for the second while we have a look under the boot floor. So I say airbox is there as well, and then there's obviously mats, which I mentioned earlier on. Boot carpet, all nice and clean. This panel is all good underneath there, as you can see. Underneath here, again, there's nothing really to worry about in there. No sign of any moisture, no sign of any corrosion. Good size, or correct size spare. Good quality tyre on there, and then if we look through the hose, you can see nice and clean in there. No sign of any trapped moisture or corrosion or anything coming through like that. Look at the passenger side again, another nice clean door card. Electric windows on this one as well. Nice clean passenger seat, no real signs of any wear at all there. Like I say, this is how it should look, nice and tight, whereas this has got a little bit baggy. But again, clean it with a steam cleaner, it tightens it right up. Nice clean carpet set. The dash is lovely. It has had a boost gauge installed here. And like I say, there's an aftermarket stereo there, but we do have the original to go with it. As with anything that we sell, just check the description. We'll detail what we know in the way of service history, where it's been, any other information we've got. Of course, you can ring up at any point, or you can come down. We'll go through the paperwork. We'll show you the car. We'll start it up. Whatever you need. If you can't get to us, you can do video calls as well, of course, or we can send you extra photos and videos. Right, engine bay. So, front panel, all nice and clean. All the plaques and everything are where they should be. Around the struts, that's all really good in there. Behind the battery's nice and clean as well. It's normally a bit of a sort of moisture spot. And down this side, same story, lovely and clean and tidy. As far as mods go, again, we'll detail in the description. Obviously, as you can see, it's had a hose kit, induction there as well. Obviously, that's where your airbox would sit. We'll detail what we know has been done to it. Hasn't been completely ruined and messed with. Just a couple of little bits here and there. Very easy to put it back to standard if that's what you wanted to do. If you have a look underneath, you'll see there's no fluid dropping down out of it or anything like that. We'll get it started up. And rarely for a Ford of this type, no immobiliser. It's just a turn the key and off it goes. We'll give it a little rev. As you can hear, lovely and quiet. No smoke or anything coming out the back. Quite often these engines can be quite rattly and knocky, but this is lovely and smooth, as you can hear. I shut up for a couple of seconds and let you listen to it. Yeah, really good. So there you have it. Series 1 Ford Escort RS Turbo. Like I say, you can come and see it anytime you want. Let us know when you want to come. We'll make sure there's someone here. We can start it up. You can have a good look around it, look through the paperwork. We can answer any questions you might have. Or if you can't get to us, we can do video calls, telephone calls. We can send more photos or videos, answer any questions you want. Just let us know. We're happy to help. Thank you.